Hi everyone, it's Missy and welcome back to part 2 of the Aloha Hula doll crocheted outfit. Today we'll be making it's a wristband, but I like to call it the flower bracelet. We'll be using some bright colors to make it with. I'm going to make 2 in bright yellow, 2 in bright pink, and 2 in orange. Now I'll show you how to make 1 in orange. So we have our 6 flowers. You're also going to need to have 6 mini barrel beads, and these are just plastic beads. They're like the pony beads, but these are the miniature size. You're going to need a tapestry needle so that way we can sew the whole bracelet together, a size I9 crochet hook or 5.5 millimeter for those of you who are in the metric system, and of course a pair of scissors. And we also will need to have this light pink yarn that we were using to make the dress in part 1. But I'm going to take the orange yarn and I'm going to make a flower. So to do this, you're just going to make a slip knot. Insert your hook, like so, and our slip knot is done. And this is going to be a 5-petal flower. What we're going to do to start off is we're going to chain 4. So to chain 4, you just yarn over and pull that loop through the loop on your hook. That's 1 chain made. I'm going to do 2, 3, 4. So I got my 4 chains. Now we're going to join to make a ring. We're going to join in the first chain that we made, so I'm just going to insert my hook right into this chain stitch. And then all I do is I yarn over and pull through both the loops on my hook, and that's a slip stitch, and it forms this ring. To make a petal, you chain 4. And then I'm going to go back to my ring, open it up a bit, and I'm just going to slip stitch inside the ring. So I'm going to put my hook right in the middle, yarn over, and pull that through both the ring and the loop that I had on my hook. And that's our petal right here. I'm going to do that 4 more times to create my 5 petals. Chain 4. Go back to that ring that I had created and slip stitch. So now that's my second petal. The trick is to make sure that you're always going back to that ring that you made and slip stitching in it and not a petal. Alright, so as soon as we have finished making our 5 petals, all I need to do is fasten off. And I'm going to leave a long tail for sewing purposes. So I just cut my yarn over, and pull the whole yarn tail through the loop. And there I fastened off my work. Alright, so that is what a 5-petal flower looks like. Now this yarn tail that I started off with, all I'm going to do is weave that into the flower itself. So I just take my needle, try to thread that through the eye of the needle. There we go. And then I just sew it into these stitches. I just kind of go around in a circle. You only have to do a few. And then I just turn and go the other way, and that kind of helps lock the tail in place so when people stretch on the actual flower, it will stay, the tail will stay in the stitches. Won't move around. I'm having a terrible time with this one. The other 5 were a lot faster and easier, but I'm also using a new camera, so bear with me. There we go. So now that I have the flower done, I am going to now show you how to make the wristband that I'll be sewing the flowers onto. I have my pink yarn, my light pink yarn. I'm going to create another slip knot, like so. And then I want to chain 12. There are my 12 chains. Now what we're going to do is single crochet in the second chain from hook. So this is the first chain, this is the second chain. I'm going to insert my hook into that second chain. Alright, and then I'm going to yarn over. I'm going to pull my yarn through that chain stitch, so there's 2 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over again, and I'm going to pull through those 2 loops. Now that's a single crochet stitch. I'm going to single crochet in the next chain stitch. So just insert your hook right into the stitch, yarn over, pull that loop through the chain stitch, so there's 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, and pull through those 2 loops. Just like that. So now I have 2 single crochets. I'm going to single crochet in each of the remaining chains. So just kind of go through. And this is my last chain stitch. So I have a total of 11 single crochet stitches. So now I'm ready to fasten off. That was it for our wristband. So I'm going to leave a long tail again for sewing. And all I do to fasten off is I yarn over and pull the whole yarn tail through the stitch. And there you have your wristband. Now we're ready for assembly. So I am set to go sewing this flower together. What I'm going to do is add a pony bead to the center of it. So I have the right side of the flower facing me. I'm going to take and poke my needle up right through the flower here, like so. And then I'm just going to take one of my beads and then I'll string it through. I'm just going to go right on the opposite side of the flower, poke my needle down right through here, pull the yarn tail through, and then you kind of have to adjust the bead so it sits in that center of that ring that we crocheted. There you go, that's what the flower will look like. Now I have my band over here, and remember we have 11 single crochet stitches. We have 6 flowers, so we're going to be basically sewing a flower every other stitch. We will have to sew the wristband together, but I'm going to do that after I've sewn my flowers on. I'm going to start with the right side facing. I'm going to sew my first flower right into the second single crochet from where we fastened off. So what I'm going to do is just stick my needle right into that spot. There's my flower, and I'm just going to poke my needle right back down and through, going through the flower too. So like so. It doesn't have to be fancy or anything. Oops, don't want to get my yarn tail though looped around there. There we go. Doesn't have to be fancy. Just keep sewing enough so that way it will stay on the wristband. That is our main cause of action. So I'm just going to keep sewing these together just by going back and forth, and then I will fasten off on the back. I'll weave in a few times and then fasten off. You won't be seeing this part because it'll be around the doll's wrist. And then when I'm done, or before I put on the last flower, because my last flower will actually be in this join right here, I'll sew these together first and then put the last flower. Sew it right on there so you can't see the join, and then you'll be done and ready to go on to part 3. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.